you need to hear me out on this because when I say don't organize your life, that may be a little bit misleading. What I'm really saying is your life needs to be organized by compartments. So if you set out to organize your life, well, you're kind of biting off more than you could chew. But if you organize your life systematically, like people with Asperger syndrome tend to do, then you're going to wind up with an organized life without even trying to organize it. Well, that's something you learn from Aspies. Now, nobody has a perfectly organized life, and I'm not sure that you even want to. I mean, you need to have a little playroom there, but then on the other hand, some people have so much playroom that they don't get anything done. So, number one is this: don't organize your life, meaning don't organize your whole life. But number two is make a to-do list. Now, that is kind of common sense, right? But surprisingly, a lot of people don't do it. People will make a written to-do list. I mean, Aspies will get on a spreadsheet, and we will make a list of everything we need to do. And we will also get on a spreadsheet, make a spreadsheet of things we need to do not only today, but something that we will do routinely over a period of weeks. Like every Sunday we'll do this, or the first of every month I need to do this. One of the things I tend to do on the first of every month is I start all my engines. One of the things that helped me in business so much was the fact that I had this intuition that nature placed in me to get things organized. How to organize a mailing, how to organize an advertising campaign. I didn't take business in college or high. I never took a business course in my life. Some things just common sense. You just know how to do it. All right. This comes from Psychology Today. Timothy A. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I think it's Pychyl, Ph.D. And here's what he said after they did a study of to-do lists. The first interesting result was although individuals who create to-do lists more often tend to procrastinate less, those who created formal to-do lists, that's what we're talking about, the spreadsheet. Formal to-do lists procrastinated less than any other group and were more conscientious than the participants who used random or mental list. End of quote. All right, so we got three kinds of lists. There's what he calls the formal list. That's what Aspies do when they get on the spreadsheets. Then there is the random list where, okay, take out a sheet of paper. Today I need to do this. But it's not something necessarily you do every day. But I think the most common is that mental to-do list where we will have in our mind today, I need to get this stuff done. And according to what he is telling us about this study he refers to, is that third type of to-do list, just the middle one, I got this. No, you don't. If you make it a mental to-do list, you're not, according to the study, you're not as effective and efficient as somebody who has a formal to-do list. You can learn that from Aspies. So the third thing that we learn from Aspies, following in line with the above, is we plan daily routines. Get up in the morning, what are you going to do? Well, if you got a job, that's already done for you. But get up in the morning, what do you do? Shower, brush your teeth, shave maybe. If you're a woman, put on makeup maybe if you want to. Those are things that we plan to do every single day. Now, I'm retired, but I still have a plan. I get up in the morning and I work on my videos. Throughout the day, I have things that I do every day. Most people have lunch, at noon. That's part of a routine. That's kind of obvious, I guess. But I know what time to take my walk every day. Depends on the season, but this time of year when it's cold, I usually walk during the warmest time of day, which is around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Summertime, sometimes I even go out and walk at night because it's cool. Take a flashlight, dress brightly, a reflector vest or whatever. But yeah, I like to walk at night. But the idea is if you have a daily routine, something that you do every single day, and you may want to write it out, you're going to be more effective and more efficient. That's something you can learn from people with Asperger syndrome. So if you think of people with Asperger's as space aliens, then space aliens must be the most organized people in the universe. Another thing we suggest you do, this is number 4, is I've talked about this in other videos, but hey, this is a really good life hack. It's a good tip, and that is clean as you go. One of the easiest ways to clean up a mess is don't make one. One of the easiest ways to keep your car clean is clean it when you're done driving it. I take my car out, my Corvette, take it out. When I get back, I just take out a towel, wipe it down. It takes literally 2 minutes. Or I could get it all dirty and wait and then spend the whole afternoon trying to clean it. But if you do it as you go, it's a piece of cake. A little life hack, something you can learn from an Aspie. Another thing you can do is track your intake. What I'm saying there is, and we talked about this in another video, but I've got a spreadsheet. And on my spreadsheet, I have listed all the food that I eat every day. Sunday is kind of up in the air because we go out to eat now and again, but by and large, outside of that, going out to eat, I know what I'm going to eat every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday. That's something you can learn from Aspies. So if you are concerned about your health, or concerned about your weight or your lack thereof, make a spreadsheet. And before you do, go through and do your research. If you have a disorder of some kind, maybe you have something that ends with itis, like arthritis or bursitis or whatever. There's something causing that. There's something that contributes to that with your intake. So do your research. Find out what you need to eat and what to avoid. I found that, and I hate this, but man, I found out that for things that end with itis, need to avoid cheese, need to avoid dairy products. I love cheese. Can't have it, or at least not as much as I used to. That's one example of probably thousands. But it's on my meal plan, or it's not on my meal plan. It's just not there, so I don't eat it. It's just that simple. When I go to the store, grocery store, my meal plan is my shopping list. That makes me very effective, very efficient in my life. If you do that through every day, all the time, you have a very organized life. Another habit you can learn from Aspies. The next one is this. Track your output. Okay, you track your input. That's the food you eat, which is either poison or medicine. Those are the only 2 options. But then track your output, your exercise. Do you walk every day? Do you do weights? What do you do? If you're not doing anything, it's probably because you're not planning to do something. And when you don't plan to do something, you are planning to do nothing. So what are you planning to do? Something or nothing? If you have a to-do list, you are planning to do something. If you don't have a to-do list, you're planning not to do something. How hard is that? The next point is this. Plan to, are you ready? Plan to relax. Worst thing you can do is stick to your plan all the time. At the end of the day, the only time I stick to my plan is I'm planning to relax. Usually what I do, and people do different things, is I watch, maybe get on the YouTube and watch videos. I like to play math games. Some people like to play video games. I played maybe 1 or 2, 10 or 20 years ago. I'm actually old enough to remember playing Pong. That was the big game. Not something for me, but it may be something for you. The point is you need to learn to relax. I may watch history videos. So I'm not only learning to relax, or planning to relax, but I'm planning to learn. I'm not just going to sit there and let my brain wander, even though sometimes that's a good thing to do. I mean, that's what I do when I take a walk, spend an hour a day dedicated to walking. Let your brain wander. Just watch out for dogs in traffic, you'll be fine. At least that's been my experience. But when you are relaxing, that's a good time to learn if you are relaxing in front of a computer. So, get on YouTube. Well, it's what you're doing now, come to think of it. Um, Aspies tend to hyper focus. That is to say that we zero in on one particular topic of interest to us, and we don't let it go. Now we do other things, but a person with Aspies syndrome may be obsessed with the history of ancient Egypt. I remember a few years ago I was obsessed with that, and I spent hours, studying the different pharaohs and the different dynasties. To me, it was just really interesting. I mean, there was this massive empire that lasted thousands of years compared to the USA that's lasted, 250 years almost, 245, I think. But to last thousands of years and not to know anything about that, to me, that was almost shameful. I needed to learn something. But the point is, when you're relaxing, if you want to play video games, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. But I would prefer to use that time to learn, discover new things, or to exercise my brain with some kind of a math program. All right, this is the last one. Ready? This is important. And that is plan to foster gratitude. And again, this is something that we do with a spreadsheet if you want, or just make a list somewhere. But if you were to be asked, okay, let's don't make it a hypothetical. I'm just going to ask you straight out. What are the three things? Maybe four. I don't care. Let's go with four. What are the four things in your life that for which you are most grateful? Four things. Well, take those four things and, just make a note of it. And again, you can make a mental note if you want, but the research, as we showed you earlier, reveals that when you write this stuff down and make a formal list, it is much more effective, much more efficient. So I encourage you to do that. Write down, well, I'm thinking maybe even put it on your on the desktop, the background on your desktop on your computer so you can see it if you're using a PC. Just mention those four things, and every day you log on to your computer, there it is, staring you in the face, reminding you that there's some things in your life for which you have or should have gratitude, and you don't have to stop at four. I think if you were to do that every day, again, make that part of your routine. I actually don't do that, but the thought just came to my mind is, what should I be grateful for today? Put you in the right mindset. We have a serious problem, as you know, with, I say we, I'm talking about humanity in general. I have a serious problem with depression. Do you understand that? We are living at the height. I was talking about the Egyptian Empire. But we are now living at the height of civilization when it comes to technology. We got stuff that literally 100 years ago even, let alone thousands of years ago, people didn't even dream of. Hey, watch. You're watching a video on the internet. No such thing, in my lifetime. Nobody even, well, at least nobody I knew of even dreamed of having an internet. Somebody did, we wouldn't have it. But that's something to be grateful for. Most people throughout their lives, going back throughout all of human history, if they wanted to go somewhere, they got up and walked. The lucky ones had something to ride on, like a horse or a mule or whatever. I got cars. I got 5 vehicles. I hardly ever go anywhere. We have these things for which we should be grateful. Count your blessings. We don't even stop and think about it. All we can do is get depressed and think about what we don't have. But that'll be another video. If you look on your screen, you see those 2 rectangles. Click on those rectangles and we can keep this conversation going. But if you're done, that's fine. We will talk to you next time.